Hello, my lovely PowerCats, and welcome back to Seers Part 2. Where we last left off, we were getting ready to go further into the mainland in this game. We chose to go around the sea into a little inlet, so we couldn't lose our one friend behind. Now let's see what else to do. Continue. The antlered child is gone. Chapter 2. Winds. They advanced into the heathland beneath the incessant howling of the wind. I watched them from afar. The Seers have a stronger hold on here inland. I must be careful that my presence isn't felt. Duncan and Eric lead the convoy and fix a fast pace for the other members of the expedition. Arlen comes at the back. She hurries to catch up with Jennyver. Arlen? Jennyver? The healer turns towards Arlen. A benevolent smile lightens her face. It awes Arlen that Jennyver can be so kind without it undermining her determination. Arlen, we saw earlier, was it a seer? Yes, at least. The legends describe him like that. Have you never heard the stories told about them? My father isn't from around here. He comes from the south. As for my mother, let's just say she didn't have the time to pass all that down to me. Oh, I understand. Do you know what they want, the Seers? No, no one really knows their intentions. They choose those who are worthy to receive the gifts, but we don't know how or why. Jennifer reflects for a moment. Jennifer, but why have you come to the island if you weren't prepared for the trials? I'm the eldest of a large family. I had to take care of my brothers and sisters. When Enid, the healer of my village, died, I agreed to submit to the initiation to replace her. In exchange, the people of my village would ensure that my family lacks for nothing. Yes, I can imagine it can't be easy, being the daughter of an outsider in a small village. A fleeting, bitter yet resigned smile crosses Arlen's face. Enid was the only one who would not to regard us as strange beasts. She explained the rudiments to me, how to prepare a few ointments. And you're not a bit too old for the initiation. Jennifer smiles. Oh, I'm not as old as all that. Arlen blushes at her blunder. Sorry, forgive me. That's not what I meant to say. But you're right. I never imagined either that one day I would become a shaman. Really? But you seem to know so much. If I hadn't bandaged Brandon's leg, he wouldn't have been able to carry on with us. If you haven't, yeah. Oh, that wasn't much. But you have a lot of questions, no? It doesn't bother you. You're sure? On the contrary, it makes the walk less tedious. If the wind would drop a little, though. Oh yes, our ears will ache more than our legs if this keeps up. I'm listening. How can I try to enlighten you? Oh, I thought she was wearing a dress. Ask about the Seers, about Jennifer. I'm gonna ask about her some more. You said you hadn't planned to become shaman. No, that's right. I've only been preparing my initiation for 2 years. Oh, and what made you come to the island? A shadow of a buried pain flits across Jennifer's face. You can see that a curse devastated my village. Everything went from bad to worse, and I felt powerless. I swore to myself that I would do what I could to never find myself in that situation again. I studied herbalism and healing crafts. I soon knew that if I wanted to see it through, I had to complete my initiation. That's how I find myself here with you. A little older, certainly, than most of the people who come to the island. Arlen would have liked to know more, but Jennifer doesn't seem to want to pursue the topic. Like something else. Arlen doesn't have the heart to question Jennifer further. She cautiously changes the subject. Something else? About the expedition. What do you think of our group? Our group? How should I put it? Everyone seems nice enough in themselves. Jennifer seems to be looking for the right words. That said, I'm afraid that some of us aren't really ready for what awaits them. It's good that Brandon doesn't seem to really want to know why he's here. Yes, in fact, I'm a bit concerned that he's staying with us. But I wasn't thinking about him in particular. You were thinking of... Connor was the one that got hurt, wasn't he? Yeah. You were thinking of Connor. It's true, he's from the city and doesn't know our customs. I suspect that Connor may surprise us all. I think the boy is a lot more resourceful than he wants to know. In that case, I don't see Freya and Eric come from the north. I can't see them failing. Well, to be honest, in fact, I was thinking of Eric. Eric? But he seems to really know what he's doing. Yes, but he's eaten up by anger and thirst for revenge. It's a volatile mix. I think this will be alright. I don't know. I want to believe that everything will be fine. I hope I'm wrong, even if Jennifer breaks off looking unsettled. I'm sorry, I just had a feeling I had a kind of deja vu. I had a name on the tip of my tongue, as if there was someone missing from the expedition. It's happened a few times since we arrived on the island. You haven't? Arlen thinks. No, I don't think so, but I feel like we're being watched since we set foot on that beach. Of course, it might just be the Seers of the island. Yes, maybe. I noticed that you passed some time with Freya. What do you think of her? I'm finding her hard to pin down. I think she's lovely. She's lovely. I think she's somewhat reliable and trustworthy. Well, you seem to get on well, the two of you. Something else? About the Seers. So these children are really the Seers of the island? Yes. The island is a kind of door into the world of the Seers, you could say. In reality, the Seers are everywhere around us in nature. The wind, the tides, even the storms and flames. It's them that brings those about. Here, the boundary between the two worlds is especially thin, so we can see them. If we receive the sacred flame, we will be linked to them with their magic. According to the legends, the Seers that we see on this island are the guardians who will only allow those worthy to reach the flame. Guardians? Yet they don't seem very ferocious. Oh, don't trust their appearance. You'd do well to think of them with the fear and reverent deference that they deserve. They inspire my trust. I couldn't tell you why, but they inspire my trust. I think they know what they're doing. We can't compare them to ourselves. They must see the world differently than how we do. Try putting yourself in their place. What would you do if strangers come to your home and started eating your provisions? Arlen laughs. Yet they need us, and we need them. Oh yes. Why would they need us? They need shamans to guide men, so that the balance of nature is kept in our world. We become their ambassadors with our people, if they judge us worthy of the task. I hadn't seen it that way. And us, we need their magic and their wisdom. It's a win-win situation. It seems like a fair deal to me. Everybody wins. I don't know. But if we reach the end of our trials, maybe we'll understand their aims better. I know that we had to undergo trials to reach the summit of the island. But no one seems to know what's really waiting for us. I don't know much either. The shamans who have survived initiation don't speak of what happened on the island. But if a shaman chooses you as their successor, they should prepare you the best they can. It seems a bit strange that they don't share their experiences on the island with their disciple, don't you think? We haven't had a mentor, you and I, but if you ask Freya or Duncan, for example, they tell you that their mentor prepared them for the trial. Without telling them what awaits them, really? Jennyver thinks. I can see two possible reasons. Either explaining the substance of the trials won't be of any help in succeeding, or it's taboo, and maybe the Seers have forbidden them to speak of it. I imagine the trials will be different for each of us. Oh? What makes you say that? For example, look at Connor and Eric. What constitutes a trial for Connor would be a trifle for Eric, and vice versa. In any case, we all know soon enough. The two young women continue in silence. Are they holding hands? Seems like it. The sun has already begun its descent towards twilight. Jennyver pulls a pouch made from a knotted rag from her sack. She takes out a biscuit, which she offers to Arlen, and takes out another for herself. Arlen accepts gratefully. She notices that the mineral scent of the ocean has lessened despite the constant gusts. Far off, a forest can be seen, climbing along the foothills of the summit. She wonders if they will reach the outskirts before night. The trees will provide some shelter from the wind. At the head of the line, Duncan tries to keep up a fast pace with the far-off forest in his line of sight. There is no real path to show him exactly which route to take, but the heath is strewn with megaliths which seem to mark the way. He is not sure, but he thinks his Uncle Leith had mentioned this in an errant moment one evening in Luxnava, when Duncan had taken advantage of his inebriation to ask about the island. The way weaves from standing stone to standing stone. Whether he's right or not, it seems to him much wiser to trust these markers, which perhaps guard them against invisible dangers, than to take the more direct route towards the forest. In living memory, the island has always been wild, uninhibited, only visited from time to time. But expeditions of novices come to seek the approval of the Seers to complete their magical initiation. Duncan reaches a megalith, which he passes on the left, as tradition dictates. On this one, if he squints, he can distinguish interlacing curves, half erased by the wind and rain. Duncan supposes that these engravings must probably tell a story, or at least reveal more about the makers of these edifices. Legends do not tell of the Seers as builders, even less as being able to, or wanting to raise monuments in the kingdom of men. The only explanation could be that, in times past, the island was inhabited by a permanent population, and a big one, considering the size of this work. Without mentioning the stair up the cliffside that Eric and Freya had mentioned. What kind of catastrophe could have made the creators of the standing stones vanish? Behind him, he hears Freya call out, "Duncan! He stops and turns. Freya jogs to catch him up. Eric is following close behind them, but they are all well ahead of the rest of the group. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize we were leaving the others behind. No, it's not that. Look! Freya points over to the right. A stone's throw away are two of the antlered children, one of them beckoning the group to come closer. Nope, that's a hard no right there. Yes, I see them. I think they're just signaling us to follow them. Yes, but then we'd have to leave the path of cairns. The cairns? Yes, the megaliths. I noticed you were guiding the group from standing stone to standing stone. Did your mentor speak of them to you, too? Not really. He mentioned them vaguely. It came back to me when I saw them. But it seemed logical to me to use them as landmarks to get to the forest. Oh? I thought you knew. Gudrid, the shaman of my clan, warned me about the megaliths. Meaning? She told me that we must not deviate. I believe something happened to our expedition when they tried to leave the path. Duncan studies Freya. Oh yes, the mentor spoke to you about the island? Of course not. You know that's forbidden, but occasionally from time to time, some information would slip out. Exactly. That said, if a seer asks us to follow him, surely it would be better to listen, don't you think? Eric overtakes them without stopping. Hey lovebirds, we're not here for dawdling. I like him. Wait, Eric, did you see? This time, it's Duncan who points towards the Seers. Yes, there are Seers. I wonder how old these people are, like, our members. Like, maybe like early teens, late teens, early 20s. They've been waving to us for a while, didn't you notice? Freya looks ruffled, as if her pride had been wounded. I confess I was looking straight ahead. I was careless. Never mind, it's only to be expected that a woman wouldn't be such a good tracker. Okay, well, that's rude. Duncan wonders whether he should point out that it was Freya who had shown him the antlered children, but Duncan doesn't allow but Eric doesn't allow him that time. Whatever, we should follow the megaliths. The Seers are clearly trying to lead us astray. Freya, her voice like ice, enunciating each syllable, does not see things the same way. No, I believe we should trust the Seers. We should follow them. Eric puts a menacing hand to his weapon. Duncan must settle this fast before the disagreement descends into a fistfight. Didn't she say something happened to her party when they strayed from the cairns? I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna follow the Seers. Freya's right. The Seers are signaling us to follow them. We should listen. We need to trust them. In the end, it's they who decide whether or not to give us the sacred flame. Excuse me? It just says to follow the megaliths. So we follow the megaliths. That's it. Duncan has played this scene 100 times with his big brothers at the castle. Eric is clearly stronger than him. But this time he decides no. He will not let himself be bullied. It's not you who decides. Connor joins them. What's going on? He looks amused, a faint smile on his lips. We leave you alone for 2 minutes and... Oh my god. Eric turns sharply and knocks Connor to the ground with the back of his hand. Damn. Hey, you stay out of it. It's not some city boy who's going to give me lessons. Connor looks terrified. Jennyver and Arlen join the group running. Brennan speeds up despite his wound to catch up with the group. They hear their steps between Eric and Connor. No, that's enough. Are you trying to kill each other? What's the problem? We saw a seer signal us to follow him. Duncan glances in the direction of the Seers, who have vanished in the meantime. Freya suggested that we follow them. Eric wanted us to keep following the megaliths. And you, Duncan, what do you think? I think we should follow the Seers. Jennyver thinks. The three of you are the most seasoned guides. If no one objects, I think I would follow the majority. Everyone agrees. Eric looks furious. Do what you want, I will follow the Cairns. Uh-oh, do not split up. Eric turns on his heels and moves off, not glancing behind. The group remains frozen as if powerless to prevent the inevitable. Jennyver is the first to react. Wait! Eric turns. Jennyver joins him at a jog. Oh, she's so small. Duncan is too far away to hear what they are saying, especially with the wind against them. Things become more heated for a while. Then Eric finally nods his head and they return to the group. No one has the nerve to make any comment. Eric says in a trenchant voice. Fine. But if something happens, don't say I didn't warn you. The group gets moving again. Duncan and Cory return to the head of the convoy, guiding the rest of the expedition towards where they had seen their Seers earlier. The wind finally drops and they progress more easily. Near the back, Eric murmurs something about this, probably harping on that he had a bad feeling about it. In the distance, on their left, there's a circle of standing stones. Duncan peers at it, disappointed not to pass closer to the edifice, examine it in more detail. What's that? Connor asks. It's a cromlech, a circle. Our ancestors used them like a calendar for tracking the positions of the stars, the moon, and the sun. Duncan indicates a dolmen, which they can see from afar in the circumference of the circle. You see that? That's the east door. It's placed in such a way that the sun rises exactly in its frame on the day of Letha, when we watch from the center of the circle. That's a lot of work for a simple sundial, isn't it? Duncan scowls. No, it is a simple sundial. This is a ceremonial edifice, which allows us to be in harmony with nature and the entire universe during the ceremonies. I suppose you lot in the city, you prefer to shut yourselves up in temples nice and warm, well protected from the sun. The two enter a heated debate as they continue their walk. After a while, Connor looks up and notices that the forest seems further away than it was the last time he looked. A little further along on the right, there is a stone circle. Duncan is delivering a long diatribe on the supposed superiority of polytheism when he realizes that Connor has stopped listening. Hey, you're not listening. Didn't we pass the stone circle on our left a while ago? But I could have sworn we were moving away from it. How is that possible? Oh, I screwed the group up. Oops. I don't know. I thought we were going in a straight line. Me too. The sun hasn't got itself lost though. Yes, we should make camp. I pity. I really hope to reach the forest before nightfall. We're all tired. With the crossing the storm and the walk, things will be clear in the morning. Night has fallen on them. The heath not providing a glut of dry wood, Arlen and Duncan have made a modest fire on the side of another old campfire. Probably the remains of a previous expedition. Connor stretches his tired legs. It's the first time he truly sleeps beneath the stars. Of course he has slept under porches, or in alleys before the temple took him in. But never like this, with the star-filled sky like a jewel-encrusted orb, stretching from one end of the horizon to the other. The rest of the group seems just as weary, munching silently on the loaf of bread and the cheese they have shared out. The provisions they had brought will not hold out for long. They have to find a sustenance on the island quickly. Arlen has finished her meal and she pulls out a small wooden flute from her bag. The other members of the expedition who are conversing in low voices or eating in silence stop what they are doing to listen to the melancholic air which emerges from the instrument. The melody is childlike, innocent, and Connor thinks it must be from a lullaby or a nursery rhyme. He has never heard anything like it before. The music of the temple is thunderous and righteous. As for the dances that could be heard in the city taverns, they definitely didn't have the gentle, nostalgic tonality of the lament that comes from Arlen's flute. Arlen closes her eyes as she plays, as if possessed by a state of spiritual reverie. As the last note of the melody floats into the night, Arlen realizes that everyone is watching her in silence. She blushes. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt your conversations. Brandon gives her a curious look. It's amazing. We come from the same region, yet I don't know that song. Where did you learn it? My father taught it to me. He comes from the south. It's natural that you wouldn't know the tune. When he's away on the road, I play it for my brothers and sisters. Compliment her. In any case, you play very well. You're just as good as the troubadours in the capital. Arlen gives a hint of an embarrassed smile. Thank you. Jennifer smiles. Can you play another? Your flute is such a calming sound, and it helps me to think. After everything that's happened today, I need to organize my thoughts. There's something... Jennifer turns to the group. I don't know, but I have the sensation of having a word on the tip of my tongue, without being able to find it. Some agree, others look at Jennifer with surprise. Eric lies down, turning his back on the fire, grumbling that it would be better to gather their strength, but it won't stop him from sleeping, but still. Arlen resumes playing. Connor listens with a distracted ear, before noticing that Jennifer is staring at the flames with a strange intensity. For a long while, the group allow themselves to be lulled by the enthralling and mysterious notes of Arlen's flute. Then she opens her eyes and stops playing. Jennifer continues to stare into the fire, which has inexplicably become fiercer. She turns her eyes towards the darkness, towards the emptiness of the heathland. She turns to Duncan. Be cautious of the whispers in the night. Are you sure you are a master of your choices? Duncan doesn't know how to react. Jennifer, are you alright? She doesn't look okay. Jennifer stares into the night. You are not worthy of the flame. Oh. The knot may tie and untie. You will change nothing. Accept your destiny and let us leave. Connor takes Jennifer by the arm and shakes her gently. Jennifer? She seems confused for a moment, then she smiles. Yes? Who were you talking to? Me? To no one. I was just listening to Arlen. Thank you, Arlen. That was wonderful. You don't remember? Jennifer's astonishment yields to concern. Don't remember what? Connor turns to the others, hoping that someone knows what to do. The others look as lost as him. Reassure Jennifer. It's nothing. You just blanked out for a moment. It must be the strain. Anyway, we're all tired. We do better to get some rest. Yes, you're right. It's not very sensible to stay up. Jennifer lies down by the fire and closes her eyes. The others do the same. Connor contemplates the flames for a moment. The strange world, peopled with seers, cairns, and sea monsters, is a long way from the daily life of the temple. The wild expanses of the island almost frighten him. After so many years cloistered in his cell, the days punctuated by the inexorable ringing of the temple bells. Still doesn't understand why he has been sent here. Does he truly have a mission to accomplish, a vital role to strengthen the supremacy of the temple? Or was he simply set here because the Cicada authorities didn't know what to do with them. Connor shrugs to himself. Then he curls up close to the fire, trying, like the others, to get some sleep. I watched the flames become embers. I hid to avoid encountering the Seers who roamed the heath in the small hours of the night. I am not ready. When they drew near the expedition, taking advantage of the human torpor, I returned to the beach of Wales. Here in the confines of my domain, I am almost transparent, light like a sylph stripped of its wings. But the moon's reflection on the ocean waves, the salt, fragrant air, so vivid in my memory, act on my weariness like a promise of renewed freedom. When I am sure that the Seers had finished their inspection of the flesh, I returned to the heath to watch my potential saviors. Jennyver is missing. The Seers must have seized her and separated her from the group. Far away in the burnished gloom which precedes the sunrise, I glimpsed her heading towards the stone circle. I'm gonna wake Arlen. Oh, night and salt fill Arlen's dream. She is at the mercy of an indistinct sea of faces, her brow beaded with icy sweat. With a ghostly caress, I command her to leave the darkness of within, to surface from the subterranean realm. She opens her eyes in panic. The other members of the group slumber on. She realizes that Jennyver is gone without taking her possessions. She pauses, wanting to wake the others, but her intuition tells her that time is running out. That maybe it is already too late. She rises and runs towards the cromlech. I follow her, forgetting my prudence. As we approach the cromlech, the air seems charged with the smell of thunder. Arlen can almost taste the metallic aroma of lightning. Jennyver is at the center of the circle, heading towards the strange children who come to meet her from the other side. It is too late. What must pass will pass. Arlen is on the edge of the cromlech. After an instant of hesitation, she crosses the boundary and runs towards the young woman. Jennyver has reached the children. She stretches a hand towards them. Oh no. There's a bright flash, then emptiness. Jennyver and the Seers have vanished. Arlen feels a presence behind her. My presence. She turns. She sees me. During the fraction of a second, when time seems to stand still, everything is clear. Lucid. She opens her mouth to say something. But the wave of magic is broken on the boundaries of the cromlech, and ebbs towards the source, taking with it insight of what is, of what has been, of what will be. I am invisible again. Arlen stays there for a long moment, trying to remember. Then she remembers the others, a weight on her heart. When she reaches the camp, the group is agitated. Freya is woken by a hand on her shoulder. She opens her eyes, disoriented. She stays at few moments in the in-between state, between waking and sleep. Images of ice-blue eyes, brown hair, dandelions dance before her eyes. Duncan is crouching next to her, looking worried. What's the matter? It's Jennyver. She's vanished. Freya is now wide awake. Jennyver, but what happened? The group is bustling. Everyone is packing their possessions while Arlen disperses the remnants of the fire. Freya is rather ashamed that all the commotion hadn't woken her. Duncan brings her up to date with the events of the night. Jennifer's disappearance to Seers, the young woman that Arlen glimpsed in the cromlech. I told you we couldn't trust the Seers. I'm sure they'll do everything they can to split us up and make us vanish, one after the other. I feel kinda bad now. I'm sure you're right. I don't know what to think of what I saw last night. Jennyver, she seemed hypnotized by the Seers. For an instant, rage glows in Arlen's eyes. If the Seers were true there to guide us, they wouldn't take one of us like that, without an explanation. Connor looks nervous, wrapped in doubt. Whatever the case, we must continue. I don't think it's any use to wait for Jennyver to come back. Arlen points at the bag that Jennyver has left behind. What do we do with our things? I think we should at least share out the supplies. Arlen nods and begins to empty Jennifer's bag. They each come forward in turn to take the clothes that contain dry fruits, bread, or dried meat. At the bottom of the bag, Arlen finds a bone comb, a firestone, and hesitates before withdrawing a rag doll. Jennyver had children? We talked together yesterday during the walk. She didn't speak of children, but she is married. She spoke of a plague which struck down her village. She had kids and they died. Maybe she kept this doll as a memento. Perhaps, or maybe her daughter asked her to take it with her. It's a lucky charm. My little sister wanted me to take a little wooden horse, her favorite toy, when I left my village. Eric shows signs of impatience. Well, we share out the supplies. We should get moving again. Connor's about to make a remark, but changes his mind. Alright, but what do we do with the other things? Freya takes the doll. Freya sighs. I'll take her things. You never know if we ever find Jennyver. She'll be happy that we kept them. If we brought this doll with her, it must be important to her. Are you sure? I don't mind taking it with me. Alright, I'll take the doll. If you prefer to take it with you, I don't mind. Arlen nods and puts Jennifer's few belongings in her pouch. Lear finishes gathering its belongings as it gets underway. Freya glances behind her to the crumnook. In the space of an instant, she glimpses something, like a silhouette disappearing behind the stones. A seer? She shrugs, then hurries to catch up to the end of the line. Okay. So that was something. It's basically our own fault that Jennifer is gone. We saw the seer who is the main character of sorts. Eric was right. That's gonna bite us in the butt later on. And we think Jennifer had kids. So, now that we're at chapter 3, that's all for the day, PowerCats. Tune in next time, Sunday. And if you feel like, like, sub, share, or comment. My social media stuff is in the description. My links are down there, finally. Feel free to follow me on any of them if you want, and let me know if you come from YouTube. I'll be happy to talk to you. So, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.